welcome. This is AOP, and today we are going to talk about the basics of tweeting solely for engagement purposes. When we talk about magnetic content, we're talking about content that is going to give you the reactions that you want. Specifically for engagement, we're talking about getting likes, retweets, and or comments organically. This is going to help grow your account and train the algo to be in your favor. Today, I'm going to talk about how and why you need to do this. Let's get right into it. Warning, do not proceed until you watch the video, How to Go Viral Without Getting Lucky. You can find this in the tweet editing room and or in lesson 8. It is imperative. It's going to be a deep dive into my laboratory, and I'm going to show you in that video how to write viral tweets on demand. Every day I wake up and I decide when I am going to go viral. You need to do the same. Watch that first because this video is going to piggyback on the concepts for how to do it. All right, so what is tweeting for engagement? Well, tweeting for engagement is specifically tweeting for the end goal to be a result of likes, retweets, and or comments. AOP, that sounds so terrible to write a tweet that is designed to get likes, retweets, and or comments. Well, no, it's not, because you have to understand how Twitter works. If you do not ever consider these factors when you're tweeting, you are not going to be able to bring awareness and traffic to your brand. That's just it, right? So when you write a tweet designed to get likes or retweets, what's going to happen is ultimately you're going to be training the algorithm to get in your favor. You're greasing it. Over time, your tweets will be seen by more people. Understand how the algo works. It's not a secret. They like to pretend it's a secret. It's not. Here's the secret. The more someone engages with your posts, the more likely you are to be seen in the future to their audience. So take that in mind when you're writing. Ultimately, it's going to set up success for your future posts. It's a good strategy and something that you need to know how to employ so that you are seen by the widest audience as possible. Remember, good content is going to get the reaction that you want. I'm not saying to tweet solely for engagement all of the time and just have this, but I am saying you need to keep this in mind to keep the algo in your favor. Let's talk about the 3 types of engagement tweets because they're all different. Tweeting for likes. Tweeting for likes, if I were to tell you the one big concept, is to be relatable. It's tweeting what's already inside of your audience's head. I like to think of it like Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he sees himself on TV, he jumps out of the chair and he goes, "That's me." That's what all it is somebody looking at your tweet and they give you a like. Being born is life's greatest privilege. Show gratitude. Gets a whole bunch of likes. Repeat after me. I'm not my job. My job is to pay my bills, but it does not define me. I'm not lost if I lose my job. I am more than my job. I am more than my career. Steve is literally not only tweeting what's inside of somebody's head, he's telling you what to think. Lots of likes right there. And or this one, always be prepared to leave your employer because they are prepared to leave you. Yes, these are platitude-y type tweets. They're real simple to digest. But their ultimate goal isn't just for you to get liked. Now, if you wake up every single day and have this goal, that's absolutely ridiculous. But if you're using this strategically to, drop these in between threads or authentic posts, keep the algo grease, you're bringing awareness to your brand, right? You're picking up follows, though they're going to be a little colder, right? You're picking up follows, you're getting the likes, you're training the algo in your favor, and you're tweeting every single day. It's going to help you maintain consistency. Let's talk about retweets. This is my most fun way to tweet, actually. I usually like to tweet for this way. And what I want to say about this is tweeting for retweets is tweeting differently than likes. Tweeting for likes is tweeting what's inside of somebody's head. Tweeting for retweets is getting a visceral reaction. Okay. So when somebody sees it, they're like, whoa, it like hits them really hard, and that they have to add something to this. So here's a very polarizing tweet I wrote. By age 30, your circle of friends should be talking more about investing and creating side hustles rather than their favorite shows on Netflix. People got so upset by this, especially since I think it was side hustles comparison to Netflix, right? Something polarized people, and everyone had to get upset by this. And, well, a lot of people came in and liked this tweet, right? And then later on, other people saw it, and then they had to share. This tweet wound up getting 17 million impressions. Think about that for a second. This tweet took me 10 minutes to write. Think about what kind of YouTube videos get 17 million views. This, yeah, and YouTube video gets 17 million views takes days, hours, sometimes weeks to write. This one took me 20 seconds to write this tweet because I knew it would get a polarizing reaction. Did it do better than I thought? Yeah, of course it did. 20,000 profile visits and thousands of followers, all because I wrote a tactical shot to be polarizing. I'm going to give you the biggest key to writing polarizing. Polarizing works really well the more specifically you call out something. And I call this brand posting. Instead of saying rather than their favorite TV shows, right? That would have done well. It might have got 1,000 likes, but maybe 100,000 impressions. But to go viral, you need to be real specific when you polarize. Like call out the specific Netflix, because people tie their identities into their brands. That's the part you have to understand. If I call out TV, people will just keep scrolling. But if I call out Netflix, the people who love Netflix will be like, no, I love it. I pay $18 a month to watch the same TV versus the people who are dunking on Netflix, the anti-TV crowd, but they really don't like having, the shows on Netflix, or they're bad shows, or they don't like it. So the more specific you call out, the better. All right, keep this in mind when you're writing a polarizing tweet. People must share their opinion on this. By age 40, another thing is when you numbers are great for polarizing. Notice how many of my tweets have numbers in them. You use the actual number, by the way. Don't write the word 40. It's easier to digest and understand that you mean 40, okay? People must share their opinion. By age 40, you should be happily married and understand how taxes work. Look at how many retweets this gets, and quote tweets. These polarizing content gets a lot of quote tweets as well. They're adding to the conversation. Now, the exact opposite, the inverse, also works. Now, I want you to think about this. These two are polarizing tweets. This one isn't, but it's also a tweet for a retweet. Let me talk about how. The opposite's also true. When you write something so feel-goody, people have to share it on their timeline. This is going to attract a different crowd, the opposite crowd of the polarizing tweet. This one, me at 28 and me at 33. Notice it has numbers as well. Look at all the numbers in this. Terrible job. Look at this. Awful life. Me now. I'm amazing. And then you give this inspirational thing. 5 years can change a lot. Don't give up. You see me write these as well. Andy actually came up with this template. Why these work so well with retweets is that it's like the tweet is something that you put on your fridge. They love it so much. It's their like way of bookmarking it, putting it out to their timeline. They have to share it with their audience because it touched them in such a way they were inspired by this. So tweeting for retweets is either something that gets a visceral reaction and they have to share, or gets a visceral reaction and they have to comment and add to the conversation, or visceral reaction that they have to share because they feel so good from it. Tweeting for comments. Now, the way to tweet for comments is the most underrated approach on Twitter. Not enough. So many tweets on, hey, magnetic content that gets likes and retweets, or, writing for growth. And the most underrated way to tweet is tweeting for comments, because comments really get the algo going in your favor. And it's more than just likes. Thinking is that, like, look at these Steve tweets, 1.4K comments. Now, there's a trick to writing for comments. The trick to writing for comments is to make the question as easy as possible to answer. There's the secret. Steve, in one word, what prevents most people from getting rich? It's not like, what prevents most people from getting rich? Oh, you got to think about it. In one word, habits. There, look, I just answered it. And so many people look how dirty this is too. He wrote the same tweet pretty much. In one word, what prevents most people from building wealth? Wow, one word difference. Talk about rewriting your. And he did this in a span of 7 days. Wow. Way to go, Steve. All right, so here's Alex and books. He's been going through our courses. What's the best philosophy book you've ever read? One question. It's in his niche. I think this one got 2,000 plus comments. Everybody has to share. These great comments build on each other as well. People will actually start bookmarking the post just to read people's comments. And then there's comments within the comments, and there's so many comments that it becomes like its own forum. Remember, that was your goal on Twitter. Now, I learned, look at these list posts that I make. You'll notice I always follow up with a question. List posts, the problem with it is that it's just a bunch of information you're spitting out, and it doesn't inspire people to react to it. You're just talking at them. Follow a list up with a question to get audience participation. I learned finance by reading these books. Bloop, 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 bloop. Now, I don't list every single book either. I could list 400 books. But the point is to kind of allow an open door for what books influenced you, and then 124 comments. But it still got 1,000 likes too, well over that, right? All by encouraging audience participation. This one as well. You're like, what? This is a comment tweet? Yeah, think about this for a second. Now, this is a viral tweet that gets all of them, really. This is a magic bullet one. I spent 20 years teaching public school and have a master's degree in homeschool. You've seen this one before, 1,000 comments. Now, here's why people have to, it almost ties back into the retweet one. You could go, this is a retweet one, but it's also a comment one as well, because people are going to be duking it out in your comment section. That's what happens. And people are still commenting on some of my old viral posts like 3 months later. It's like I get notifications for people it's unbelievable. They're duking it out and they all have to one-up each other. One of the most underappreciated things that you can do is, and I actually go back and read the comments that are top because they will inspire your future content. I learned finance by reading these books. I read the comments of these books. I'm learning about my audience. Questions are unbelievably great. They allow you to train the algo in your favor. They get you seen by more. They grow your following, or they're going to teach you about your audience. And then you can write based off of what you read back from them. All right, it's real simple. Let's get some tweets submitted for the boost rooms. Let's get some tweets submitted in the editing rooms. Engage with others. You guys are doing a great job. I'm not saying that you have to follow others in these rooms, but it would be nice. Give each other a bro hug. Give each other a follow. Give likes. Post. Somebody mentioned this. Remove the cookies. And the way you remove the cookies is to remove everything, the question mark and included. There's a tracker now. Sometimes it's either a short one like this or a long one. But if you see the question mark, delete the question mark and everything after that. Here's one, a longer one. What it's doing is it's actually this S, from what I've understand, is telling people, the Twitter, where it's coming from, like a phone or a desktop or a browser. I'm not sure what the second part is, but just remove everything after the question marks. I actually don't even click through links. When I see somebody ask for something, I'll just go to their timeline and give them a hit if I enjoy their content. Okay? I make these retweets as authentic as possible. I don't just share stuff that I don't like. I think of my audience first, above all. All right, y'all, that's all I have to say today. This was fun. Let's keep it going. We're all growing and moving in the right direction. I will be back at you tomorrow also with an event with Eddie where we're going to be talking about some of our favorite tweets and also keep going in the editing room. Have a good one, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Friday.